Hola, soy yo, Vicki, otra vez. I didn't realize it was on there. Ok, bienvenidos a parte 3 de las descripciones, listening a descripciones. En este video vamos a mirar los plurales. Ok, descripciones plurales. Okay, so 3 descripciones de más de una persona. 3 descriptions of more than one person for you to listen to, see if you can understand it, to maybe write it down. You do it like a dictation. Okay, so, Jesus. Vale, do you know that? Jesus, when you sneeze, you should say Jesus, or when someone sneezes, Jesus, Jesus. For the first sneeze, for the second sneeze is Maria, and for the third sneeze is Jose. So it's Jesus, Maria, Jose, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Well, if you go to a fourth sneeze, there's no other, well, not that I know of. Oh, and there is another way. Sorry, I'm digressing again. These things are useful. Another thing that they sometimes use is first sneeze is amor or salud. I think it's health, love, and luck. So it's salud, amor, suerte. So you can either use Jesus, Jose, Maria, Jesus, Maria, Jose, or salud, amor, suerte. Okay. Vale, so, número 1, primera descripción. Son actores, punto. No son guapos, punto. Uno es alto, delgado y rubio, punto. Es inglés. El otro también es alto, coma, pero gordo y calvo, punto. Él es americano, punto. Son cómicos, punto. Siempre llevan trajes y sombreros negros, punto. Sus películas son de blanco y negro. ¿Quiénes son? Ok, so, eso es número 1. Número 2, están casados, punto. Son ingleses, punto. Él es alto, coma, guapo y delgado, punto. Tiene pelo rubio y muy corto, punto. Ella es baja, coma, muy delgada, coma, morena, con pelo moreno, punto. Es muy guapo, punto. Él es futbolista y ella es mujer de negocios ahora, antes cantante, punto. Tienen 4 hijos, punto. Tienen más o menos 50 años, punto. ¿Quiénes son? Vale, número 3. Now remember, I'm not repeating these because you can always go back and listen to them again if there's anything you haven't quite caught. My advice actually as well would be, first, if you're writing it down, just write down what you hear. If you don't know what the word is, write it down as it sounds, because that will help you understand the sounds. When you see then the spelling, that will help you understand the way the sounds work. So yeah, if you're not sure what to put, just put what it sounds like, even though it may not be actually spelt right. And then when you check, it will help you understand the sounds better. Vale, número 3. Están casados y tienen un hijo. Él es inglés y ella es americana. Ella es actor, coma, él es de familia real. Punto. Tiene más o menos 35 años. Punto. Viven en los Estados Unidos. Punto. Él es pelirrojo, con ojos azules, y ella es morena, con ojos castaños. Punto. Los dos son guapos. Punto. ¿Quiénes son? Vale, ya está. So, esos son los plurales. That's the plurals. Vale, okay, so no olvides el dedo. Si has encontrado este video útil, if you've found the video useful, please remember to give me the thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, as always, if you want to, completely free. And if you haven't got the books already, you don't know about the books, so the Break the Language Barriers series, where you can learn Spanish at home, and we have 3 levels. They've all just been updated and revised. Break the Language Barrier Level 1, which is present tense, more or less, for beginners to pre-intermediate. The pain barrier, as I call it, Break the Language Barrier Level 2, which is all the past tenses and really advances you in your Spanish. It's a challenge, but once you get through, as I say, what I call the pain barrier, everything else is a lot easier in Spanish, I believe. And then there is level 3, which we go into, well, we consolidate the past tenses and the present tense, because just because you've looked at something once doesn't mean that you'll remember it necessarily the first time. I always say to people, you know, you have to go back over things and look at them again. But what you'll find with my series of books is they do build. So it's not like, oh, right, we forget about the present tense now, we forget about past tenses now, we're going into the future. There's a gradual build, and it's always bringing up things that have come up previously. The other thing people like about this particular level, level 3, is that we go into por and para finally, which people always want to know, what's the difference between por and para? And when you come to level 3, you will realise it's not a question that can be just answered quickly in 10 minutes in class. It's quite complex. Now, in all, there is a level 4 as well, which has just been completed, the update, and I'm just waiting for some delivery of some of the new books. That goes into the subjunctive, so those of you that are, you know, more advanced in Spanish want to have a look at the sexy subjunctive, as I call it, just to try and make it sound more interesting than it is now. I mean, it really isn't that bad, and it's good practice of the present tenses. Because we have to go back to the present to form the subjunctive, and so yeah, it's not as bad as sometimes people make it out to be. So there's 4 levels there. They're all available on all Amazon sites. So if it's amazon.uk, amazon.co.uk, amazon.com, amazon.es, every single Amazon they're available on. Also, don't forget, for practice and possibly Christmas presents, with Christmas coming up, if you know anybody who wants to learn Spanish, who's trying to learn Spanish, now these are, people think of them as children's, but they're not actually children's, but they operate on different levels. They're stories about dogs, which is quite nice for children, but they're just as good for adults to try and learn Spanish, because the Spanish and English is there set out next to each other. So when you read the Spanish, you can look to see the English, or the other way around. What else did I want to tell you about? Well, yeah, so those are the books that are available on Amazon. Also, if you know anybody who's trying to learn English, who's Spanish and trying to learn English, I have, well, apart from the fact the bilingual storybooks would be good for them, but also I I do videos on learning English as well on the YouTube, and there is a book available. Level 1, level 2 is in production, let's say. So, vale, muy bien. So, muchas gracias. I'm going to make some more of these listening podcasts in all levels. The next couple that I make will be more advanced level. But I think, yeah, listening, a lot of people said to me about listening, you know, that's perhaps the most difficult thing if you don't live in an area where you're listening to a lot of Spanish all the time. So you may live in Spain, but you live in an expat area. Or if you're in the UK or in Ireland or anywhere where you are, trying to learn Spanish but not actually having Spanish around you, then, you know, that hopefully these listening exercises will help. Any suggestions? I'm open to anything that you think would help you. Any particular listening that you think would help you. Please let me know and I'll do my best to do a video on that basis. So, thank you. Gracias, como siempre. Cuídate, look after yourself, especialmente in estos tiempos difíciles, especially in these difficult times. So, te veo en el próximo video. Gracias por mirar. Hasta luego.